leza nikireje nipo rongani nikijirondelo lera dengene wacha ndutu wa kutafsirie lakini Your Excellency on a more serious note, as the chairman of the Ma Economic Bloc and the spokesman for the Ma Nation, on behalf of the Ma people, I want to thank you most sincerely for continuously gracing our cultural weeks, beginning with the first edition in Masai Mara, Narok County, the second in Samburu, and today the third edition in Amboseli, Kajiado County. Your Excellency, today is double celebration. As we celebrate our culture that has become iconic, we also celebrate a correction of injustice and the turn of history by yourself by returning the Amboseli National Park management to the county government of Kajiado. This is a story that has shed blood along the way. People are broken. The economy of the Maasai is ruined. The animals, dispatched in all directions. It created a lose-lose situation for everybody. The wildlife lost it. The people lost it. The environment broke down. And because of the non-acceptance that coexistence between the wildlife and human being is the way of the future. We celebrate you, Mr. President, because we know it took enormous courage, because the persuasion, the voices to the contrary, the resistance, both locally and internationally, required a man of defiance, a man who understood what historical injustice is, a man who has his people in his heart, a man of courage. And that is who you are to us, the people of Kenya, the Ma Nation, and we celebrate you today, Mr. President, for listening the voiceless, for protecting the oppressed, for defeating injustice against justice. You stood today correcting the Ma history because the Ma Nation has been lamenting, has been crying, has been praying, has been doing everything to say, while we have been the community that has embraced other Kenyans to live with us, we continue to suffer serious historical injustices on our land. And today, Mr. President, you have stood with us. Why has the Ma Nation been congregating and talking about the Ma culture celebration? There are several reasons, Mr. President. One, our culture has become the single most African culture recognized worldwide. If you talk to anybody outside Kenya, they will think that everybody in Kenya is Maasai. Because the book of Joseph Thompson in 1885 said, through Maasai land, and it was from the coast all the way to Lake Turkana. It was all Maasai land. The white colonialists broke Maasai land, set us apart between us and our brothers in north, turned our land into the white highlands, put us into what then called closed districts, created stereotypes that Maasai hawataki shule, Maasai wanakunywa dawa ya porini badala ya dawa, Maasai hawezi kuchunga wanyama. We congregate to write our own history. We congregate to break the stereotypes against our people. Your Excellency, there has been a lamentation about the young generation, watoto wa siku hizi. Your Excellency, the problem has been the parents wa siku hizi. We congregate because we want our children to understand our culture, to understand our values, to become true Africans, to understand patriotism in our language, to understand conservation in our way. We congregate because we want to bring a generation for tomorrow that is proudly Kenyan, proudly African, and proudly Ma. That is why we congregate. We congregate to raise our voice against concerns in our development, against the fragmentation of land, against our people not participating in their civic duty, particularly in elections. And today, we want to say, by you removing the excessive vetting against the people in the borders of our county, that directive was not for Somalis alone. It was for the Maasais in Kajiado and Narok. It was for the Maasai in northern Kenya. It was for the Bukusus in Busia. It was for every Kenyan who is in the border. And in the coming election, our people are taking their national identity cards to exercise their right and contribute meaningfully for the future of Kenya. We congregate to talk about that. We congregate to talk about that because the stereotypes about Maasai will change. The Maasai will take its pole position in our country, take its rightful place, go to school, and protect our national heritage, our wildlife. Your Excellency, there has been naysayers talking about you and your commitment to the Maasais on Amboseli. We have been told all manner of stories. Hiyo ilikuwa ni hadithi, hiyo mlidanganywa, hiyo haiwezekani. Hata wakora wengine walikuja hapa kusema it is not in the constitution. We congregate today to celebrate you as you fulfill this important promise of our history. And we want to tell the naysayers that the county government of Kajiado, in collaboration with our national government, our partners in conservation, will create a third generation park that looks after our wildlife, look after our environment, and look after our community. Conservation and wildlife protection will no longer just be about the wildlife alone. It is going to be about the ecosystem and about coexistence. For those who say this will not happen, it has happened. And as the spokesman of the Ma Nation and the chairman of the economic bloc, we rally our community. We rally our community. We rally our community to support President William Ruto in the election of 2027. We have even a slogan, Your Excellency, tunasema hii itatujua, hii imeenda, hii imekamilika, hii imeifa. Lama asaikewo, keidipe, kakitu murra, kakitejo, kakingilo shororei, emi yolola jo mikingilo rorei, ni yolole nikiti ajo kiti ore nemikiti, amen eke kiti pookin, nikindipa, nemigili, nikiteja, eitwaning, ekiteja. Basi Your Excellency, tumesema 2 term, jua ikiwa saa 6. Your Excellency, jua ikiwa saa 6 ni njia ya Maasai kusema mchana. Kila mtu aone jua ikiwa wapi saa 6. Basi, thank you, Excellency, for giving me this time. I want to welcome the Minister for Tourism, my sister Rebecca Miano, to pick the program from there. But the Ma Nation, Your Excellency, celebrates you, supports you, and support you in the building of our nation, Kenya. Asholeng. Thank you very much. Karibu Waziri. Thank you.
Asholeng, Governor.